There's a brand new green corridor being built right through the heart of Pittsburgh as we speak, and almost nobody's talking about what it's quietly doing to home values along the way. One thing that I've learned after helping a lot of people relocate to Pittsburgh is that most buyers focus on today's home, while the smartest buyers also pay attention to what a neighborhood will look like 5 or 10 years from now. Most people see road crews, a few orange cones, and a line of new buses, and they think that is just traffic, that's just construction. But here's the truth. That is not just a bus route. That is one of the most powerful forces in real estate, the kind of thing that can lift the value of every home near it for years. So, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Pittsburgh in 2026, this is the corridor that you want to understand before everyone else does, because the smart money is already moving and most folks have not even noticed. Hi, I'm Diane McConaghy, your local Pittsburgh relocation and real estate guide, and I have spent years helping buyers and sellers all across Allegheny, Washington, Beaver, and Butler counties find the right home at the right time. And if there's one thing that I've learned, it's this. The smartest buyers do not just look at the house, they look at what's being built around the house. And right now, something big is being built. It's called the University Line, Pittsburgh's first true bus rapid transit corridor in more than 20 years. According to Pittsburgh Regional Transit, this is a $291 million project that connects downtown, Uptown, and Oakland, which is one of the busiest stretches of road in the entire state. We're talking about dedicated bus-only lanes, brand new stations with real-time arrival screens, protected bike lanes, new sidewalks, street trees, better lighting, and smarter traffic signals. As someone who spends a lot of time driving all over Western Pennsylvania, I've already watched several of these improvements take shape. Projects like this rarely change just traffic. They often change how people feel about an entire area. And here's the part that makes this corridor different. It's green. According to the Pittsburgh Regional Transit, the line is rolling out 15 battery electric zero tailpipe emission buses alongside the rest of the upgraded fleet. And it's laying the groundwork for the transit system to go fully electric down the road. So this is not your grandfather's noisy diesel bus line. This is a clean, quiet, modern transit. The first phase, downtown, wrapped up in the summer of 2025, and the second phase, through Uptown and Oakland, is set to be completed in 2027, which means right now, today, we're in that sweet spot before the ribbon gets cut. So why should a home buyer or a seller care about the bus line? Stick with me, because this is where it gets really interesting. Let me explain something that real estate insiders have known for a long time. When you put high-quality transit near homes, the value of those homes tend to go up. It's not magic. It's just simple human behavior. People will pay more to live somewhere that makes their daily life easier. How much more? Let me give you the most trustworthy number first. According to a peer-reviewed study published in the Journal of Real Estate Finance and Economics, which compiled dozens of transit studies, single-family home values rose by an average of about 2.5% for every 250 meters closer a home was to a station. 250 meters is roughly a 3-minute walk. So the closer you are, generally, the stronger the pull on value, up to a point. And I want to be honest with you, because that same study found the effect that can vary widely from place to place, and in a handful of cases, it was even slightly negative. So this is a real pattern, but it is not a guarantee on every block. Now, here's an important detail that most videos skip. That research was based mostly on rail and commuter train stations, and rail tends to command a higher premium than buses. The University Line is a bus rapid transit, not a train, so it's fair to expect a more modest boost than a brand new rail stop would bring. But before you brush that off, remember two things. First, this is a clean, dedicated, frequent corridor, which is the closest thing to rail level service that a bus line can offer. And second, broader industry estimates still place transit premiums anywhere from a few percent on the low end up to a double digits in the strongest, most desirable markets. The exact number always depends on the line's quality and how nice the surrounding neighborhood already is. Quality matters just as much as location. Now, layer in a green piece. The 15 new buses on this line run with zero tailpipe emissions, which means cleaner air and quieter stops than the old diesel days. Even the rest of the corridor fleet runs on a cleaner technology. That makes living close to the line a lot more pleasant than people expect. And buyers in 2026 notice that. So when you combine accessibility, lower commuting stress, and a cleaner, more comfortable street, you get exactly the kind of corridor that pulls demand toward it. But maybe you're thinking, Diane, that is research from other cities. Does it actually work here in Pittsburgh? Great question. And the answer is, it already has. One of those reasons I love using local examples is because I don't want you making decisions based on what happened in another state. I want you to understand what's actually happening here in our own market. Pittsburgh already proved that this works. We don't have to guess about transit and home values because Pittsburgh ran this experiment years ago, and the results are sitting right there in East Liberty. For decades, the Martin Luther King Jr. East Busway ran through the East End, and for a long time, the neighborhoods around it sat overlooked. Then the city, the Urban Redevelopment Authority, Pittsburgh Regional Transit, and private developers came together to build right next to the busway. According to the Urban Redevelopment Authority, that effort produced the East Liberty Transit Center along with the East Side Bond Development, which added 360 new homes and over 40,000 square feet of retail space, all anchored to the transit station. And look at what happened. East Liberty went from a place that people drove past to one of the most talked about neighborhoods in the city, full of restaurants, jobs, and new construction. Reports on that project note that the development next to the busway generates about $1 million a year in tax revenue on its own. That is the power of building homes next to good transit. It does not just move people, it moves money, demand, and value. Now, here is why I am bringing this up today. The new green University Line is following that exact same playbook, only cleaner and more modern. And Pittsburgh Regional Transit is not stopping there. According to their published plans, they're already studying how to extend the East Busway further east toward communities like Rankin, Braddock, and East Pittsburgh, and are looking at transit corridors connecting the Mon Valley down to Homestead and McKeesport. In other words, the map of where transit-driven value is heading next is already being drawn. The question is whether you see it before your neighbors do. So let me circle back to where we started. I told you at the top that this is not just a bus line. That is one of the quietest, most reliable value engines in real estate. And now you can see it. We have the research showing transit pushes up value. We have Pittsburgh's own track record in East Liberty proving that it works right here. And we have a brand new clean energy corridor set to be completed by 2027 with more corridors already on the drawing board. But here's the part that matters the most for your wallet. Knowing which neighborhoods and which counties are about to feel this ripple and how to actually buy or sell smart around it. That is what the rest of this video is about. To make all of this easier, my team and I have put together a free Pittsburgh relocation guide. It breaks down the best neighborhoods, the school districts, the cost of living, and the real numbers that you need before you make a move. Again, I'm Diane McConaghy. I help people relocate and invest across Western Pennsylvania every single day, and I built this guide to save you hours of research. It is 100% free. Just grab the link down in the description or in the pinned comment. All right, let me show you where this is heading next. Now, I want to be fair and clear here because regional balance matters. The new University Line itself runs through the city of Pittsburgh in Allegheny County. So if you're shopping in Oakland, Uptown, Shadyside, Squirrel Hill, or the East End, you are sitting closest to this wave right now. Homes with easy, comfortable access to that clean corridor are the ones most likely to see steady demand as the line is completed and the area continues to fill in with shops and jobs. But here is what a lot of people miss. The value story does not stop at the city line. It spreads outward through the whole commuter network. When downtown and Oakland become easier and more pleasant to reach, the suburbs and towns that feed into that network become more appealing too. Think about the park and ride lots and the transit connections that serve commuters coming in from South Hills, from Washington County, from Beaver County, out near the airport, and from the growing communities up in Butler County. The easier it is to plug into a clean, reliable transit spine, the more attractive outer communities become to buyers seeking more space in quieter setting without giving up access to the city. And remember, Pittsburgh Regional Transit has openly said that it's studying new corridors extending toward the Mon Valley and further east. For an investor or a forward-looking buyer, those study areas are worth watching closely because today's overlooked town near a future transit upgrade can become tomorrow's hotspot. That is exactly the pattern the East Liberty showed us. The homes were affordable before the transit investment and far more valuable after. Many of my relocation clients are surprised to learn that they don't necessarily have to live in the city to enjoy everything Pittsburgh has to offer. Some of my happiest clients commute from surrounding counties and love having a little more space while still enjoying easy access to downtown. So whether you are in Allegheny, Washington, Beaver, or Butler County, the lesson is the same. Pay attention to accessibility. Ask how easy it is to reach jobs, hospitals, and the city core, because that access is becoming one of the biggest drivers of value in our whole region. Now, let me give you the honest, practical playbook. Here is where I'm going to be straight with you because that's how I work. Transit boosts value, yes, but it is not a guarantee, and it is not the same everywhere. So let me give you the real guidance. If you're a buyer, look for that sweet spot. Being a short, pleasant walk from a clean station is the goal. Being literally on top of the busiest, loudest part of the line is not always ideal because some buyers don't want the noise and the foot traffic right at their front door. Research on transit and home values actually points to this. The biggest value boost tends to come from homes that are close enough for easy access, but far enough to keep their peace and quiet. So when you tour a home near one of these corridors, go stand outside at rush hour. Listen, picture your daily life there. The right distance is gold. If you're a seller near one of these corridors, this is your moment to tell the story. According to Redfin, the median sale price in the city of Pittsburgh has been running right around $260,000 in the spring of 2026. And the wider market has shifted into more balanced territory, with homes taking a bit longer to sell than they did in the frenzy of a few years back. In a more balanced market, the homes that stand out are the ones with a clear advantage. So if your home offers clean, easy transit access, don't bury that in the listing. Lead with it. Buyers relocating here from pricier metros are actively searching for exactly that kind of convenience. If I were marketing one of these homes, convenient transit access wouldn't be buried halfway through the property description. It would be one of the headline features because that's exactly what many relocation buyers are searching for. And if you're an investor, this is your map. According to Zillow, the typical home value across the country sits north of $370,000, while Pittsburgh remains far below that, which means our region still offers room to grow at a price point that makes sense. Pair that with affordability, with a known value driver like clean transit, and you'll have a thoughtful long-term play. Just remember to do your homework on each specific neighborhood, because as we have seen, the same corridor can lift one block beautifully and barely touch another. This is exactly the conversation that I have with clients when we're evaluating a home near any major improvement project. Sometimes the obvious choice isn't actually the smartest long-term decision. I'm not here to promise you a boom or scare you about a bust. The honest reality is that real estate is local, block by block, and a smart purchase near good transit is about steady, dependable demand over time, not overnight riches. That steady demand is exactly what makes a house feel like a safe place to put down roots and build your future. So let me bring it all together. Pittsburgh is building a brand new clean energy transit corridor, the University Line, connecting downtown, Uptown, and Oakland, with completion by 2027. Research across many cities shows that strong transit access tends to lift nearby home values, often by a meaningful margin. Pittsburgh already proved this, works with the East Liberty and East Busway, where smart development next to transit reshaped an entire neighborhood. And the region is not done, with more corridors being studied that could spread this value out toward the Mon Valley and beyond. For buyers, sellers, and investors across Allegheny, Washington, Beaver, and Butler counties, the message is simple. Accessibility is becoming one of the most valuable things that a home can offer, and the people who understand that now are the ones who will be glad they paid attention. Here's what I want you to take away. You don't have to be an expert to make a smart move. You just have to know what to look for, and now you do. If you are even thinking about buying, selling, or investing near one of these growing corridors, don't go in blind. Reach out to me directly. My contact information is right below this video, and I would genuinely love to help you find the home or the opportunity that fits your life when you're trying to build here in Western Pennsylvania. Whether you're relocating from another state or simply moving across Western Pennsylvania, my goal is to always help you understand not just where the market is today, but where it's heading. And if you haven't grabbed it yet, download my free Pittsburgh relocation guide via the link in the description below. It walks you through neighborhoods, schools, costs, and the real numbers before you pack a single box. Then go ahead and watch my next video right below, Investing in Pittsburgh, PA's up-and-coming suburbs, where to buy in 2026. If today's video showed you where the value is heading, that one really shows you exactly where to plant your flag. I'm Diane McConaghy, your local Pittsburgh real estate and relocation guide, and I'll see you in the next one.